It's over 125% potential upside if they can retest that line. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We are here to talk about all things investing. And today I want to talk to you about a company called Lordstown Motors, ticker RIDE, R-I-D-E. This is actually a follow-up to a video I did about a month ago. Lordstown has been in the news for all the wrong reasons for several months now, and their stock has taken a thorough beating. So they recently got some good news. So what I basically want to do, I want to give you a quick summary of the bad news and then talk about some things that they've done recently to try to change the momentum of the direction the company's going in. And then I want to show you their good news that they had this week. And then we'll take a look at the chart and go through some price predictions. So with that said, let's start with the bad news. So I'm going to play a clip from my previous video that kind of summarizes what is going on. So let's take a look at that real quick. Here's what happened on June 9th. Lordstown Motors lower pre-market amid concerns over survival. A day after the company warned investors that it is close to running out of cash and may go out of business on June 14th. So the company just got through telling us that they may go out of business and run out of money. So other than that, everything's great. This article is on June 14th, so less than a week later. Lordstown Motors CEO and CFO resign after the board concludes pre-orders were exaggerated. They initially, denied all that, but they launched their own investigation. Something must have been not right with what they were saying, because you've got the CEO, by the way, the CEO and founder of the company. It's his design. It's his truck. So that's a brief summary of the problems that Lordstown has been facing, and they are massive. And I just want to take a look at one more that's happened subsequent to that. Okay, so on July 2nd, Lordstown shares tumble after Justice Department joins the SEC investigation. So this is an article that goes on and basically talks about how now the Justice Department is looking into the allegations that Lordstown Motors management had exaggerated or told untruths about their pre-orders. So here's the thing with this. Obviously, this is not good news. The stock did take a hit from this. Having said that, the CEO and the CFO, prior to this, had already resigned. An independent committee that Lordstown Motors put together had already decided themselves that they had given inaccurate statements about pre-sales. So the news on all of this is already out. Investors were already well aware of this. So I would think that this is already priced into the stock. Never great to have the Justice Department and the SEC investigating you, but I think we all know what they're going to find because Lordstown's already basically admitted to it. So that's the last of the bad news. I just want to go quickly through a little bit of what new management has tried to do to turn things around. So embattled EV startup Lordstown touts real employees at a real plant as it seeks capital infusion. So again, their whole problem really revolves around the fact that they may run out of cash before they get to market. That leaves open the potential for this company to go out of business, for this stock to go to zero. So those things are potential nightmares for investors. So what they did here, Lordstown Motors' new executive team wants to make one thing clear to investors this week. The electric vehicle startup has real employees at a real plant. The message is part of tours this week for media, analysts, investors, and others the company is calling Lordstown Week. It's meant to show that the embattled company has made progress as the new executive team seeks to raise funds to keep it afloat. So again, here they are talking about raising funds. They're having a Lordstown Week where they've invited the world in to show, yes, we had some problems, we've switched over management, but we're a real company, we have a real plant, we have dedicated employees. So, okay, this was yesterday on July 26th, 2021. Lordstown Motor secures $400 million in equity with promise on shorting. So let's just quickly talk about what they got. Embattled EV startup Lordstown Motor said it has secured a deal in which hedge fund YA2 would buy up to $400 million in equity, and then they say ride stock rose on that, but as you'll see when we look at the chart, it's actually going down. As is oftentimes the case when new shares are issued, it does cause some dilution and people are worried about that. However, I would submit to you, in my opinion, this is a company you can see every single piece of news about them has talked about how they are desperate for cash. They just secured $400 million with the potential to dilute their equity up to 5%. So a 5% dilution is a very small price to pay for the cash that you need to get your production to the point where you can go to market. There are some special terms with this. This company has agreed not to leverage or short the stock at all. It works a little bit more like a line of credit. So to me, this is game-changing news. And if you watch my last video, I am not a cheerleader for Lordstown. That was some pretty tough love in the last video. But they have made some significant changes, and locking down this money, I think, is a game changer. So I want to take a quick look at the chart and show you where I think there's some upside and some potential money to be made. Again, this is not financial advice. This is my analysis of the company. Having said that, let's go to the chart. Okay, this is the Lordstown Motor chart for the last year, basically. So you'll see a yellow line at the bottom. That line is at about $6.57. That is my line of what I call ultimate support. So it has not gone below this line. It has tested this line. You can see it just tested it back in the middle of May, and then it had a run up, and now it's testing it again right now as we speak. It's trading at $6. It looks like $6.65, $6.66. It is at its line of support. So this is a massive line of support if it can hold this line. And again, remember, they just raised $400 million, and here the stock is down on the day, testing its line of support. As an aside, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. If it holds this line of support, you'll see I've drawn a purple line at $11.87. So that line started back in April. So it touched that in April. It tested it again on May 18th. It tested it again on June 29th. You will notice in the middle here, it did go above that line for a while. There was kind of a head fake with some good news that later didn't turn out that way. So the stock popped above that range for a moment and pulled back. $11.87 has been a pretty tight line of resistance for the last 3 months now. I just want to talk about two other lines, one of which is somewhat significant, and the other one is a little blue sky, someday over the rainbow stuff. So you'll see a line at $15.97, so basically $16, that goes back to March, the middle of March. So that is a line of resistance that it popped up to on kind of the fake out good news. So I think that does give a glimpse into where this could go on good, if they have actual good news. If they can get production going and they can roll out, I think the market gave us a little glimpse of what might lie ahead if this company starts heading in the right direction. Then there's a blue line way up here, over $30. It did trade in this range from September of 2020 all the way to February 12th of 2021. So it spent several months bouncing off of $31, over $30. So that may be a long-term picture of a place that this stock could go to. I'm not looking at that line. You guys can do your own due diligence and decide which of these points are relevant. What I wanted to focus on is you've got a yellow line at about $6.50. You've got a purple line at $11.87, just under $12. So from $6.50 to $12. So that's about a 75% potential upside to this stock if it can just get from the bottom of its trading range to the top of its short-term trading range. So that's the swing trade that I am looking at. So let's do the math on what it would be to get up to $16 from where they are right here. It's over 125% potential upside if they can retest that line. Again, that's not the line I'm looking at. I'm looking at that 75% potential upside inside of the trading range that I believe it's currently in. So if it can hold that bottom, if it can stay in that trading range, I'm looking at that 75%. Just for fun, let's take a look at this. So if it were to go from here all the way back to where it was in February, that is a 372% upside for this stock. So there's kind of your lines of resistance and lines of support. This is the potential for what could happen to this company. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. We all know that if things don't go well, this could go the other way and the stock could go to zero. However, having secured $400 million, I think does give investors a good reason to have some comfort. I would at least add this to your watch list. Take a look. If it can hold strong, this may be something that you want to put your money into. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.